Imagine you're in the middle of a political crisis. The state is on the brink of collapse, and you're the leader who must decide how to move forward. Do you act based on ethical principles? Or do you prioritize the survival of the state, even at the expense of morality? This dilemma has echoed throughout political history, but it was first famously articulated by Niccolò Machiavelli in his 1513 treatise, The Prince. In The Prince, Machiavelli presents an approach to leadership that forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about power, pragmatism, and governance. But there's a twist. While his advice is often seen as ruthless and Machiavellian, he argues that the ultimate purpose of politics is to promote a common good. But what exactly does Machiavelli mean by this? Is it simply a means to justify any action? Or does it reflect a deeper, more nuanced understanding of political ethics? In this video, we will explore how Machiavelli's views on power and morality are intricately tied to his concept of the common good, and what this means for modern political thought. Before we dive deep into Machiavelli's ideas, I'd like to welcome you to The Unfolding Journey, a channel dedicated to exploring the complexities of philosophy, history, and politics. Here, we take a journey through the great minds of history, analyzing their ideas and how they resonate with today's world. Whether you're a student of history or simply someone who loves to question the world around you, you're in the right place. At The Unfolding Journey, we seek to engage with the great thinkers of the past in a way that's accessible and relevant for today's audience. So, if you're passionate about understanding how ancient ideas shape our modern worldview, this channel is your go-to space. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history, philosophy, and everything in between. The common good in Machiavelli's context. Machiavelli's The Prince is often labeled as a manual for ruthless political maneuvering. Its core message, after all, seems to suggest that the ends justify the means. Leaders are advised to use whatever tactics, be they deception, force, or manipulation, are necessary to preserve the state. At face value, this may seem to contradict the notion of a common good, which is traditionally linked to moral principles and the collective well-being of society. However, Machiavelli's conception of the common good is not as idealistic as that of many philosophers who prioritize moral virtues or the pursuit of justice. Instead, Machiavelli's common good is grounded in the stability and survival of the state. In this sense, the common good is the political unity and order that enables citizens to live without fear of instability or civil war. In his view, the ruler's duty is not to act in accordance with abstract notions of morality, but to ensure the continued health of the state, no matter the personal costs. To Machiavelli, the common good can be viewed as the preservation of a strong, unified political body that allows society to function. Without the proper maintenance of the state, individual freedoms, prosperity, and security could easily fall into chaos. This brings us to a key point. Machiavelli does not see power as inherently bad or corrupting. Instead, he sees power as an essential tool for achieving the common good, the stability of the political entity. The role of the prince, morality, power, and pragmatism. One of the central arguments of the prince is that rulers must be willing to bend and even break traditional moral codes in order to maintain power. This may seem at odds with a commitment to the common good, yet Machiavelli argues that this pragmatic approach is necessary for ensuring the greater stability of the state. Machiavelli's advice to rulers on the use of cruelty and deceit serves to highlight his view on the purpose of politics. In his famous statement, "The ends justify the means," Machiavelli argues that when a prince's actions lead to the preservation of the state, the morality of those actions becomes secondary. While this appears ruthless, Machiavelli insists that such measures are not taken out of personal desire for power or cruelty, but out of necessity for the common good. To him, a ruler who does not take hard decisions in times of crisis endangers the state, and by extension, the people. For example, Machiavelli presents the idea of the fox and the lion, two qualities a ruler must embody. The fox symbolizes cunning and the ability to deceive, while the lion represents force and power. A ruler must know when to be both, using force when necessary, but also employing cleverness when the situation calls for it. In this way, Machiavelli suggests that a leader should be as flexible as the situation demands to preserve the state and protect the common good of society. The tension between ethics and politics. It's important to note that Machiavelli's view of the common good is distinctly different from that of other political theorists, particularly those who were heavily influenced by Christian morality or the natural law tradition. For philosophers like Aristotle or Thomas Aquinas, the common good is tied to virtuous living and the moral flourishing of individuals within a political community. In contrast, Machiavelli's ethics of statecraft seem much more transactional. The moral character of the prince is less important than the results he achieves. A ruler's primary goal is not personal virtue, but political effectiveness. If cruelty or dishonesty are necessary for maintaining the stability of the state, they are acceptable. This is not to say that Machiavelli advocates for wanton immorality. Rather, he accepts that the demands of political leadership often require actions that are in tension with conventional ethics. This tension between ethical conduct and political pragmatism is a key element of The Prince. Machiavelli does not believe that politics should be governed solely by ethical or moral imperatives. Instead, he presents the idea that political leaders must act as realists, making decisions based on what works, not on what is morally idealistic. This opens up a broader question about the role of morality in politics. Can actions that are deemed immoral still contribute to the common good if they achieve the desired political outcomes? Machiavelli's influence on modern political thought. While Machiavelli's writings were controversial in his time, they have had a lasting influence on political theory. His ideas on the use of power, morality, and the common good have continued to shape how political leaders and theorists think about governance and statecraft. Machiavelli's realism. The belief that political action is often governed by necessity rather than by idealism has been embraced by many political thinkers in modern times. For example, many modern politicians, especially in times of crisis, draw on Machiavellian principles, using pragmatic strategies that prioritize the stability and survival of the state over moral considerations. In the world of international politics, where diplomacy and negotiation often involve difficult choices, Machiavelli's ideas are frequently applied, though not always openly acknowledged. Ultimately, Machiavelli's concept of the common good serves as a reminder of the complexities of political life. While it may seem contradictory to say that power and morality are in tension, Machiavelli's work demonstrates how these two forces often collide in the real world of politics. Machiavelli's argument that the purpose of politics is to promote the common good is a complex and often misunderstood idea. His conception of the common good, however, is not rooted in moral virtue, but in the political stability and survival of the state. The prince, according to Machiavelli, must be prepared to do whatever is necessary, even if it involves actions that seem immoral, if it ensures the long-term health of the state. This practical, often ruthless, approach to politics forces us to reconsider the relationship between power, morality, and the common good. In modern times, Machiavelli's teachings still resonate, especially when political leaders face decisions that demand a balance between ethical concerns and the practical needs of governance. The central tension between doing what is morally right and doing what is politically necessary continues to be a pressing issue in international diplomacy, wartime decision-making, and even in domestic policies. Machiavelli's idea that the ends justify the means remains controversial, but it has been consistently influential. His thoughts on leadership remind us that politics is often a realm where idealism meets harsh reality, and where decisions made for the sake of the state may not always align with traditional moral principles. As we reflect on the implications of his views, we are forced to confront the uncomfortable truth that sometimes the preservation of peace and security may require actions that go against our better moral instincts. If you found this exploration of Machiavelli's ideas insightful, make sure to subscribe to the Unfolding Journey channel for more deep dives into philosophy, politics, and history. Join us as we continue to unravel the complex ideas that have shaped the world around us. We value your input, so feel free to leave your thoughts or questions in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going. Remember, whether you're a history buff or simply curious about the philosophical underpinnings of politics, you're part of the Unfolding Journey. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends who might be interested in diving deeper into these classic ideas. Until next time, stay curious.